Good morning, everybody. It's your boy Mac over here on Red Zone. I decided I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in front of this camera for a cool minute because I haven't actually got in front of a camera in a while. Alright? Now y'all know this is Red Zone, so you know this is a red pill channel. So I could talk about something red pill. Alright? So that means I could talk about women, I could be talking about real life. But for this video in particular, I just discovered something and finally kind of clicked in my brain and made me realize what AMS and all these dating coaches be talking about when it comes to women. Alright? Hold up. No homo, you guys, but my lips were looking ashy in the camera, so I had to fix it real quick. Now that's some real, you know I'm a human, you know I'm real when you do stuff like that. But anyway, main thing being, you know that when AMS and Dr. BOA and all these dating coaches be talking about how you gotta value your time and be that dominant alpha male and all these things, I realized that I finally it clicked for me why that is. Like how you have to value your non-sexual attention and value your time. Because I just made a video on my other channel that's called Positivity Central if y'all want to check that out. It's about how maximizing your time is more important to you than just messing around with some chick. Like, think about this. And this is something else I just realized too. Like, a lot of times, a lot of us men aren't brought up to just believe that they should focus on their success. They're brought up to believe they should focus on women. Which kind of makes you think this kind of crazy. Because think about it. If a woman is finicky, you know, finicky means like they're wishy-washy. They're all over the place. At least when it comes to us men. Right? So, think about this. If that is the case, then why would you focus on something that is finicky? You know, like, why would you focus on something that is always changing? It has no control. That you have no control in the situation. So why would you focus on that? Alright? So, if that is the case, shouldn't you focus on something that you can control? That you do have power over? Now, a lot of times us men want to have power and control over women. Now, some dudes that are in the pimp game, or however you want to call it, they do that. They have that power and control over those women. But for us average dudes that are transitioning, we don't have that ability just yet. Now, we may have it eventually. I mean, it's really just a matter of how much you value your time, which I'm going to explain too. Because it's like this. Alright, they say you should value your time and maximize, be busy on your grind, on your purpose, because those things are going to matter more to you and her at the end of the day. Because think about this. If you are focused on you and your time and being successful, making money, getting in the best shape possible, that is raising your SMV, which is your sexual marketplace value. So, focusing on her doesn't raise your SMV. It does nothing. It stays stagnant because you're focused on her. You're worried about her. You're texting her. But if you're over here, you're not worried about her. Women as a whole, by the way, you guys, are a paradox in themselves. A paradox is something that you would think is one way, but it's actually the complete opposite. It's what's called also counterintuitive. That means it's not what you think it would be. Intuition means you know it, but counterintuition or counterintuitive is the exact opposite of what you may believe or think it should be. So let's say, you know us guys, we love women, so we try to say we love you, we have so much high interest in you, we care about you, but the counterintuitive part is that your interest level is irrelevant to her interest level. How much you care has nothing to do with how much she's gonna care. You see the difference? Just because you care about her, you love her, that doesn't mean she's gonna love and care about you back. She has no obligation to, she has no reason to, unless you're a high value male that's successful, in shape, you know, all the three things that women love, looks, money, status. So, or perceived love, because apparently if hypergamy is real, that means love doesn't exist really. Just kind of put things in perspective. Because if hypergamy is real, it doesn't matter if you are the richest, she can upgrade to a richer man. If hypergamy is real, that means it doesn't matter how you look, she can always get a guy that looks better. It doesn't matter if you have high status, she can get a guy with even higher status. Unless you're trying to be like all you can be, like unless you're on that purpose and you're becoming like the CEO, the top of the top, you won't reach that potential of being the best that you can ever get. Because there's tons of other competition in the world. So hypergamy is real. That means you should never chase a woman, ever. That means she should chase you due to her high interest in you because you are striving to be all you can be. Alright? So I just wanted to make sure I said that and cleared that up because it just clicked for me and I realized, okay, now I see why they say all these things. Why they say you shouldn't chase women. Why they should have the high interest. Why they need to do the choosing. Because if you're doing the choosing and you're trying to get her, it's going to be irrelevant. You're just going to hurt feelings because your interest level is irrelevant. It kind of sucks to hear that your interest level is irrelevant because we all want to be cared for and we want what we want. But at the end of the day, if you're the one doing the pursuing, the chasing, it's irrelevant because it only matters what you're pursuing's interest. Like, let's say you are a 7 and you're chasing a girl that's a 10. Her interest is all that matters in you because you will get nowhere if your interest is the only one that mattered. Do you see the difference? So, I hope that got cleared up for a whole lot of people watching this video because it just took me a minute to understand why they say that. It takes a long time to process and get that stuff installed in you if you don't really have that. Because I used to be one of the biggest blue pill guys. I believed in love. I wanted my one wife, my one true soulmate. You know, everything they say in Disney and your parents teach you about just being nice to the girl and just love her and just be a good, honest man and all those things. It's good. It is good to be honorable and humble and have morals and principles about yourself. Now, I do believe in that full-heartedly, no matter with women, without women, whatever. You need to be a good, honest, moral man. Now, that's just 100. That's always going to be there. As far as me go. Now, men, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. Y'all living y'all life. Y'all be dishonest. You do whatever you want to do. But for as far as me, I always believed in principles and morals is what define a true man. That what truly makes a man is what he stands for, his morals and his principles. Alright? But to go back to the original topic of how, you know, looks, money, status, hypergamy, focusing what you need to focus on, it's just a matter of, since your interest level is irrelevant, the best thing you can do is do what you can control, which is what you are thinking about, what you are focused on, your money, your looks, your status, your success, your legacy, if you want to call it that. So the key is focus on those things because those are the things that's truly going to matter. And when I said paradox earlier, this is the funny part. When you focus on women, you don't get women. But when you don't focus on women, you get women. Do you see how crazy that is? You would think if you focus on it, you would get it. Like, you know, because of the things you control naturally. If you focus on making money, you making money. You know, if you focus on being positive, you get more positivity. But with women, it's the exact opposite. That's why there are opposites. People say men and women are just alike. No, we are not the exact same. Now, we are both humans. We both want emotion. We both want love. We both want money, success. We want both all those things. We want children. But as far as the attraction and interest and all those things go, we have two totally different mindsets. Because a woman loves attention, we love sex. So she's trying to get you to give her as much attention as possible without the sex. And you're trying to get the sex without giving her hardly any attention. See, that's two different opposite fields. But honestly, I'm a religious man, so I'm going to throw some religion in here a little bit. If y'all don't like that, y'all can skip ahead maybe 2 minutes. I feel like in the original book, you know, the good book, it says a man should find a wife, which means that you should be abstaining from all sexual pleasures before you even think about women, which means you should just wait for a good wife to come along, because it says he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So if that is the case, that means that you should stay focused on your purpose and having a legacy in the first place. Do you see the difference? It's like everything tells a man that you should focus on being a good, true man. The Bible says it. Dating coaches says it. Women want that. So wouldn't that mean the universe is saying, for a man, you should focus on being a good, true man? That's everything saying that. Like if you look at that and just from that perspective, you would see that every single thing is telling it that a man should be a true good man. If the Bible says it, if dating coaches say it, if your parents usually say it, if women want that, shouldn't that mean, by all those indications, that a man should strive to be those things? I mean, it's just something I thought about the other day, and it kind of blew my mind that a lot of men are still chasing women, but the actuality of things is, and everything else in the universe is saying you should focus on what you can control and what would make you grow as a man. It's kind of interesting. It really just kind of blows my mind that we focus on women and other things that are irrelevant when you gotta really focus on what makes you good as a man, and you will attract this anyway. A little key concept too I picked up on is apparently this semen retention thing. Apparently that's a really big wave right now. And it is. Like, it's a really big, important thing, because it's teaching men to overcome their lust and desire. It's teaching men how to retain their seed and be all they can be. Because your semen is your creation energy. It's your everything. It's your essence as a man. It's what really makes you different from a woman. Your seed. Alright? So, think about this. If all men believed in just wasting their seed, like all the people that we were around that tells us to do this all the time, you know, your buddies, whoever, a bad influence on you, says, man, if you ain't got no women, you ain't no true man. That's because someone told them that. Think about this. All human behavior is just passed down from somebody else. Like how your parent is due to how their parents taught them and treated them. Their parents were how their parents taught them and treated them. So if our friends around us are telling us, and our associates are telling us that, man, you ain't a true man unless you getting some cat, that's mean because someone else in their life is telling them the same thing they're telling us. Do you see that? Do you see that how behavior in humans is so perpetuated that we can't even really truly think for ourselves? Everything we do is really from a perspective or someone else's ideologies passed down to you. That means that everything that we think and believe is a program from somebody else. Like even discovering dating coaching and red pills and everything else, that's from a perspective of, okay, my heart has been broken a couple times, so I need to figure out a way to not make that happen. Because obviously, listen to these guys over here that saying get cat all the time, they may have it figured out, but I don't. I'm getting my heart broke, so I gotta do something else. I gotta figure out a different way. So maybe that's why this red pill thing has popped off so well, because men weren't focusing on being true men. They were focused on the woman too much. Like, I'm not saying that all men do this, because I have no idea how all men's situations are. But let's say, for example, a dude's married to a woman for just X amount of years, and they break up. Well, she files for the divorce because she's not happy anymore. I don't know if that man maybe fell off the wagon. He stopped trying to be an all-he-can-be man, you know? Because I know a lot of situations they say a man just kind of drifted off. He kind of just focuses on her, just loving on her, not trying to be all he can be as a man, not focusing on being better shape and all these things. It's kind of like, wow. Now, I know there's a recent divorce where Jeff Bezos got divorced. You didn't know, you have no idea probably what happened behind those closed doors. It's none of our business. But he had all the money. He was striving for his success, that's for sure. So it's kind of interesting that they got divorced because, you know, hypergamy in a woman should mean that she shouldn't want to leave him unless he filed for the divorce. Again, I don't know all the details. But it's just something to think about. Make sure you're improving in all areas at all times. That should be your main focus. It shouldn't be on her. You know, women are like cats too. They're like children and like cats. which means they're going to do what they want to do, and they're emotional as crap. So, if that is the case, why would you focus on something like that? If they're going to do what they're going to do anyway, if they're going to float around and just do how they please, why would you focus on that? You know? So, I'm not going to make this video too much longer. I just want to make sure I shared my perspective on women and everything in life with you guys, so y'all can maybe leave me some feedback in the comment section. See how we line up. Let me see what part of this video resonated the most with you guys. Was it the part about being all you can be as a man? Was it the concept of how women truly are, so why would you focus on that? Is it the concept of how everything you believe and think is passed down to you from somebody else? Or is it about divorce and marriage? Maybe you can give me some insight. Let me know how it truly is, because I've never been married, so I don't know what that would be like from a personal perspective, so I can't really speak on that. But what I can speak on is having your heart broken and learning all this red pill knowledge and how all this stuff is kind of combining together to understand it. But I will say this in closing. If the Bible says it, dating coaches say it, women want it, it would make sense to just be all you can be as a man. Focus on God and goals is how I put it. The 2 G's, the only 2 G's you will need for your life is God and goals. Just in my personal perspective of things, that's all you need. God and goals. You have God on your side, there ain't nothing you can't do. You have goals, you have something to strive towards. Now, a lot of people say you have purpose, you need purpose and passion and all these things. Personally, your purpose in life is determining where you're going to go after life. That's just my personal opinion of purpose. It's either you're going to heaven or you're going to hell. That's from a religious man's standpoint, of course. So, it's one of the two, and that should be your life focus. Because this is just for however long life expectancy is, which is what, 80 years? 80 years or so? So if that is the case, why would you focus on the 80 years you're alive and not the eternity, which is infinite, you know, an infinite symbol right here? Why would you focus on 80 years versus an eternity? But again, this all comes down to religion, if you believe in it, if you don't, things of that nature. So I guess that would play a part as well. But it's just something to think about. If your life purpose should be about being close to God as possible so you go to heaven, not how much money you have in your bank account or how many women you can get or anything like that. Those are just frivolous things that won't even matter after you die, you know. So, but that's it for this video. I hope y'all liked it. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. To share to all your friends that may need to hear this positive word of encouragement. And I call it wisdom or knowledge to you, whatever you want to call it. But I will see y'all guys next time. Peace.